So what I'm going to present today, my name is Frederick, and I'm not an architect. I'm an engineer studying architectural design. But that sort of doesn't matter whether I'm just not that into the artistical of the architectural part of it. So I'm going to present how we use computational fluid dynamics to calculate what's the necessary fire safety of a building, and why we use supercomputers for that part, or why it's a good use of it. That was fast. There. So I'm still relatively young, and have only a small amount of experience. But even though I only have that, I've been thrown into cases with computational fluid dynamics for how smoke moves in buildings, and how to read or understand what makes a building fire safe. So when we find how to make a fire safe building, we could use standard solutions where we just get the fire installations from where from the sizes of the rooms or the occupants of the rooms. For example, if you're over 150 people in a one fire compartment, you would need some escape signs. But what if we see a case where that's not the issue, where it isn't necessary to have sprinklers even though we have a very large room? Where it could be because there aren't any sort of fire load in the building. Why would need to extinguish a fire if it doesn't exist in this building? How do we? Are there any geometry that could make a building not necessary to use sprinklers? How do we document whether that would be the case? Well, we would model a specific fire in a building and try to see how it behaves. We know when a fire becomes critical in a building, and we know when occupants become critically harmed in a fire. So all we need to do is actually make a model, a physical model of these things, to see how when that happens specifically. These calculations cost a lot of computer time, and what we have been limited to before has been a large PC, which our programs are modeled for. But it would still take a lot of time to really evaluate what a building could do, or what other complex fire safety structures actually have of issues. So in this use case, where we've used this HPC LUMI, we have the benefit of LUMI with the extent that we need to do a lot of different simulations. That is very uncommon, that we need to use to do a lot of different simulations, but I can tell you why we do that much simulation. So the assignment was to increase the amount of people in this building. This is the pretty model of it, from 350 to 500 people. And what we would normally do would be to set a strategy for our simulations and say we would need a lot of sprinklers, and then just try that simulation. And then just do one different simulation, because that would be what our computers could handle. With HPC Lumi, we could set up whether different placements of fire, are there any other risks of this building that we need to consider on an office floor, on the atrium floor. Can we not just use sprinklers? Can we use fire ventilation instead? That's generally a little bit cheaper. Can we have a mixture of them? Can we see on whether we can allow a Christmas tree? That's usually a big part of fire safety in an office building, that we just don't allow Christmas trees. But we can try all that with this computer and try where do we end up with our models and what can be acceptable. So when we then simulate this, we would just see that where the smoke accumulates, where it accumulates faster. This is a section of a building, a little bit mixed in when the fire started, but it shows where the critical areas will be and when it will be critical areas, and that's sort of the specifics of it. Because while we do that, we would make an evacuation simulation where we see, well, with 500 people instead of 350 people, if we don't use sprinklers, it will look like this, while not everyone has escaped yet. But later, but if we use sprinklers, it might just look like this, and that would be acceptable for personal safety. Let's see. Yeah. So that's generally the design process that I've described a bit. That we hear what they want, the client, and we then guess what installations we can just use for this case, and then we model the scenarios, and then there's a whole lot of simulation times in our old processes, and after that simulation time, we see on the results and see, do we need anything more? With Lumi, this process can be very fast compared to the rest. I've not been speaking into this for a very long time. Without Lumi, this simulation time can take up to 3 weeks, or maybe more actually. This was a simpler case where the 3-week simulation time comes from. And with Lumi, we can hurdle that down to 2 days, which means we can get through more design cycles with a client and make the more efficient fire safety approach for their specific building. One of the aspects that's also really beneficial to us is that when we have this simulation time in the old, without Lumi, we might have set up a physical model that wouldn't work. That, for example, we could set up a physical model that accumulates enough pressure that it can't calculate anymore, where a pressure state of too much smoke just crashes the model. And if that happens a week into this simulation, we wouldn't notice, because that computer that calculates that stands in one corner of an office in the other part of our country. And then we would be skewed back 1 week again to fix that issue. So with the time we aren't looking at the model because it's simulating, we can check that very fast in Lumi. So it's also giving us a bit of a check very much faster than we usually would. Besides that, we have had the problem with if my project needs to run in our office computer, our strong computer in the other part of town, we wouldn't be able to have 2 projects at the same time. We would be able to do that with Lumi. Yep. That's not fair. I don't think that's important. Are we over time?
No, I don't think so.
All right, that's cool. Because my part of it is only focused on fire safety. But in the construction field, there's many fields where we could use this software to simulate physical conditions when we don't have formulas for what we want to model. So we can use it in all sorts of areas, where mostly 3D mesh dependent areas, but also a lot of different analyses. Yeah. And from our perspective, where we aren't all that into computers, as I can sense most people are in here, we lack a general knowledge of Linux and have a hard time using this software. But we are learning to use it. So this was just an explanation of we just want the computer power. We don't want to make it any more complicated. But as I've heard from Thor, that's getting better. Or we should just learn to ask a little bit more. Yeah. And that's that for me.